Hey everybody, Arthur here with another special treat for my viewers. I have a one-on-one exclusive interview with Ryan from Panda Mony Toys. He is the man behind Panda Mony Toys, and Panda Mony Toys is making a toy line that I've talked about. You've seen me tweet about it on Instagram, Facebook. Alternation, the toy line is amazing. The figures look great, so I wanted to bring the man behind that company forward with a one-on-one interview with me so we could talk about Alternation and Panda Mony Toys and really what Panda Mony Toys is all about. So Ryan, can you take it from here?
What Panda Mony Toys is all about? Well, we're all about making fresh brands for kids and toys. And we always wanted to see all these. We grew up with a lot of the Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles and all that stuff when it was new. And I was looking at the toy aisle before I started this company, and I said, "Wow, that stuff is still here. Maybe not Master of the Universe, but that is coming back, so it will be." But yeah, when I looked at the toy aisle, it was like nothing but Marvel, DC, and a few others like Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. And we said, "Well, hey, we're looking for some market differentiation. There it is. We can just put something new together." And when we did that, we were able to forego a lot of the royalties and licensing fees that goes along with having those properties as toys. And you're going to see that with our first line called Alternation, it is jam-packed with product features that we think kids are going to love.
Nice. And yeah, and I've been following you guys on Instagram and on your all your social medias really, and with what you guys are, some of the convention stuff that you post on your channel to the Alternation stuff that you're posting up, and it's just like it's mind blowing what you're doing, to me at least, as a collector. And like you said, there's a lot of regurgitated trash that's just like we've seen it over and over and over and over again, and I myself falls into the victim of doing that. Like I have like a bunch of sound waves. I'm like, well, why can't I just have one good sound wave? Why do I have to have a shelf of sound waves? It just sort of like, it's different, but I understand, like with what you guys are doing, like all your creative characters that you're coming out with is awesome. And they're all unique. And I've never seen anything really like it before.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we try. That was kind of part of the mission, and all of that was to, we pulled a lot of artists from all over the world, and just kind of like while we tried to stay hands off with the direction, but pulled in a lot of if they did something kind of different, that we said, "Oh yeah, like go with that and make that exaggerate that," and things like that. So I think we were able to pull in a lot of weird unusual stuff in the characters, like Dart and Quilroy both have really long arms and stuff. It's just kind of a little freakish and things like that. And along with all the more obvious stuff, like, hey, this guy has porcupine quills and bat ears and so on. So.
Yeah, Quilroy does look awesome. Like I was just, again, like all your designs are really good. And I like the idea that you're saying that, hey, we're developing this, we're creating this, and you're giving the artists like artistic freedom to add their own little twist to things, and that you're supporting that.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. That was really important. I think a lot of other companies, they might fall into a trap of what is appealing, or like what's popular or something like that, by putting, like, having an art director or somebody put their stamp on it rather than letting it grow. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it definitely makes sense. I mean, I do, besides like my toy review stuff, I do dabble in doing like art and stuff like that, as you thought. Like I did the little mashup of I don't know if you saw the thumbnail or whatever,
Yep.
but
Mony,
so like when I was in college doing like the life drawings and stuff, I would sit there and draw somebody, but then I'd add like stuff like little creatures or something sitting on the model and stuff like that. And I'll actually have the professor come over and be like, well, where is that? And I was like, what do you mean? You don't see that? Like, just a whole imagination and, the support of the creativity. It sort of seems to disappear.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, we try to stamp that out, not stamp that out. We want to encourage people to take chances, and we kind of just, with our direction, just focused on the technical stuff, like like, does this work in 3D space or something like that? So the stuff that like can't be overlooked. But if they did something aesthetic, we let them run with it, you know.
So now, what are one things like with you, Panda Mony Toys? Like, what are you gonna do that's gonna make you stand out from amongst the tyrants that are out there in the like the toy community?
We try to really like give the consumer their money's worth. So of course, yeah, there's the features in the product, but we also are we also kind of want to stand out from the kind of generic brands too, to where we're pumping in like a lot of lore behind the story. We're putting in a lot of little games, and we're putting together little games for the website. Anything we can to make the consumer feel as though like this world is immersive. You saw the you got the narwhal collectible. I saw your
Yes.
video. So like we put the little note from one of the characters in the story as if you just completed a mission. So one of the characters in the story is their commander, and so we sent a note from that commander. So anything like that we can, to like stuff that's tried and true and maybe isn't done as often anymore, is what we're all about.
Yeah,
Fan
that's
clubs, by the way, did I mention that we have an Alternation fan club? Because with COPA and things, we can't add kids to an email list, but we do want to be able to like give them freebies and and market to them. But so we're able to do that by email, or I mean by postal mail still.
okay. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I did get I don't know how blurry that's gonna come up. It's probably gonna be super blurry. Let me pull it back to me.
Yeah.
Alternation little pin that I got from you guys, and then from the just referral. And I thought this was very generous of you guys, the narwhal itself, or narwhalrus.
Yeah.
Um, that's just awesome. Like the sculpt work and the detail into it. And then you guys are just like, hey, all you gotta do is just be in touch with us, just join up with the mailing list and get updates of what's going on. And I think that's awesome, really being in touch with like the consumer and letting them know what's going on. And also rewarding them for being interested.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're doing all we can. Just any ideas we can to get the word out, and like of course we appreciate the fans we have. We went into this not sure of like what the response is going to be, and it's been overwhelmingly positive. And we'd love to reward the people that are that are supporting us early on, because we like it's still a little. I mean, we're going to market it, and we're going to do our best to like make it something successful, but at the end of the day it hasn't come out yet, and we're not 100% sure what the response is going to be. So we're trying our best to build the audience now, and and we hope that when the actual toys drop, that it'll be even the audience will grow even more.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure, especially with just like looking at the characters themselves and like the amount of articulation you guys are actually putting into these figures. And like I said, just the creativity of like kids. I can see kids outside playing with toys again.
That would be great, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Maybe give reasons for kids to have sandboxes again, and all that. But with the alternation line that you're doing, where did that come from? What was the inspiration behind alternation?
um I've always been into kind of like, so it was originally called GK, or actually MK, something like that. MK Delta? No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the concept name we used, but it was something along the lines of, I think we went with GK Delta eventually, but it was inspired by the MK Ultra, the mind control experiment the CIA did in the 60s, and on. And so yeah, we just thought, if like instead of mind control, they're testing mixing humans and animals genetics. So it was born from that, and it was one of, I think, 20 concepts we tested with kids. Um, we asked them for their favorites, not only like getting the quantitative data, but also the getting their insights and things like, what do you like about this? What do you like about that? So along with the other 19 concepts, we kind of got the sense that they're really into mixing animal powers with human powers. So that was the reason why they picked that. Like, there was a few concepts that we had with that sense to it. And after that first round of 20 characters, we refined it. There were some other concepts they liked, but ultimately, after I think 4 rounds of market testing with the kids, what became Alternation was the winner. And we also stole ideas from some of the other concepts that they liked. So later on, we're going to have hybrid vehicles in Alternation too, assuming the line takes off and we're making billions of dollars and we can do we can do play sets and vehicles and things like that. That'll be coming soon. What else was I going? There was one other thing I was going to say. The other thing was that I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's all right. And if it comes up later on,
yeah, I'm sure it will.
blurt it out.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, thinking about doing vehicles and playsets, and especially at your guys' scale. Because I mean, aren't some of those figures going to be pretty
Those would be
good size?
Yeah. I mean, we're not
So,
sure how it's going to pull off, but we'll see. We'll
I
figure
mean,
it out.
it'd be awesome. I
The
mean, to
the
do
other
that.
thing we were going to do is some like giant oversized characters. So look for that soon too. Like
Nice.
instead of like almost like a vehicle being a character instead. So, hard to
Almost
explain,
sort
but
of
you'll
like
see.
how you guys have like Dart, and I guess like the little miniature figure with Dart, like the character or whatever.
Oh, so that little miniature figure is Dart's action figure. It's a prop. I mean, I'm sorry, it's an accessory, right? So he's an action figure with an action figure, and it should be explained
So
on the
he's
pack.
small, and then he just turns into Dart, this massive frog creature.
The mini guy is like, so each character comes with a personal effect too. So Dart is really into comic books and superheroes and things like that. So his toy comes with one of his toys.
That okay, now that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like he grew up, but that's really cool.
But we do have, like, along with you got one of the mutts, the narwhalrus. Dart. There's a few mutts that you're gonna have to collect that are gonna be blind box. Well, you don't have to. I would love it if you collected them, but if there's some that attach to the characters themselves. So Dart comes with one that's an octopus dog. We call him Octopup, and it kind of like goes on his back, like just nests on his back perfectly. We have and there's a couple others. I don't want to like ruin all the surprises, but
Understandable.
they some of the mutts connect to the action figures. Let's say that.
Yeah,
And the mutts are
you don't
coming
want
in
to say too
2020.
much. They
Yeah.
might shut us down.
Oh, fine. I'll give you one more secret. The El Rey, since he's a nautical character, he comes with a half parrot, half monkey. Or he doesn't come with it. If you collect if you get the parrot monkey. Why do I keep saying pirate? If you get the parrot monkey, it attaches to his arm. So like
See,
a captain ship.
that's awesome. So it's like you're gonna have little separate things like, hey, you guys go ahead and collect these, and then when you get them, they can combine to the figures that you're investing into. It's
Mhm.
like that is a great way of doing figures, like accessory packs in a sense,
Yeah.
but with a flip to them. I mean, the last time I really experienced like, accessory packs, I think like G.I. Joe had the ones where you bought them there separately and stuff like that. But they were just like weapons. But these are actually like creatures that attach and become part of the lore and stuff, that sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. It was kind of important for us to keep it all like in the same, like of course in the same universe, but like everything has like a purpose, to where it's not just like, okay, we're also doing Alternation bobbleheads or something. It's like always like it's one toy line where it's all interconnected.
Right. And
Yeah.
interactive.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, I got a bobblehead. Let me go put this up on a shelf somewhere or just sit it here. You're like, no, this thing could attach here and then it could probably,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome. And it really just sort of, it puts me back to those times of Christmas, birthdays. If you get it, Ninja Turtles, some of the Ninja Turtles came with their little sidekick.
Yeah.
They were just casted in the plain plastic and they were awesome. And you
Yeah.
always had them with battling together. And so these mutts are going to be pretty much like same thing, but a lot more interactive and they actually have a purpose.
Yep.
So
I
that is very cool.
I'm right there with you. I love the like Screw Loose and Muckman. All they came with the little dudes that attached to them. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
like Joe Eyeball fitting
Yeah,
Muckman's
Joe
little
Eyeball.
garbage
Yep.
can in the back.
Yep.
But yeah, and that's too awesome. And so sort of going into, some retro stuff in your background, just more about yourself. You're a big collector yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. What can I say? I like toys. I've been collecting since I was probably I think I told you I've been keeping stuff in the box since I was 17, but I've been collecting toys since I was a baby.
Now, do you remember your first like toy that just like hit you as a kid and you're just it was that mind-blowing experience?
Ninja Turtles was big, but like the first thing was probably I was really into GoBots and Mask. They were about the same when I was like 5, 6 years old. I had a ton of Mask toys, and I loved Mask. And I guess I liked GoBots too, but I don't remember much about it. But Mask was bad. Was bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed Mask. I remember having like a little it's almost like an Indy car that turned into a plane and that could fly. I can't even remember the guy's name, but like Mask is definitely a good one. And then with GoBots had such creative like characters, and then the Transformers came and just swiped them out of the way. Like,
I re- I remember having a GoBots that was like a cap gun, and like, do they even make cap guns anymore? I don't know, but yeah, it was like a robot that turned into a working cap gun, and like a rifle.
see, when you start thinking of caps, like I don't know if you buy cap guns anymore, or caps or the paper ones any at all.
I don't know. I'm sure like somewhere, but I never see them in stores.
It's like you buy this gun that has little mini gunpowder things for your children.
Yeah,
But yeah, because I remember if you ever Cops and Crooks, those figures,
Cops and Crow. I don't remember that line.
they were like big characters. Some had armor attached, and one had like a robot dog or whatever. But they came with like weapons that actually were the paper caps. Like you'd pull the thing back and it'd pop them, and it came with
Yeah.
like a bunch of the rolls of the caps and stuff. I'm like, we're not going to get that anymore.
No, probably not. I remember kind of being a little scared of caps when I was a kid, just a
I
little
mean,
bit.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, I think they had like my brother growing up, he had ones that were individual caps, and they went on these little guns, and they were like the loudest thing ever, and it actually like shot little bits of like sparks or something out. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to put my hand by that.
Yeah, do you remember they had a He-Man that shot sparks too? I think it was He-Man. It like you pulled it, and that kind of freaked me out as a kid too. But again, this is just revealing that
Right.
I was
I
a
mean,
sensitive kid.
well, I mean, there's probably kids out there now that wouldn't even know what to do with some of these toys, or
Yeah.
but that's cool too. Sort of flipping back with like the kids, sort of talking into, you did actual testing with the kids, hands on, and got their feedback. And like, how many do you know how many kids were involved, or how many kids actually got you got the feedback from?
Yep. It's around 80. So after all the
Nice.
testing we did, yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean,
they like the humans and animal mixes, and they also kind of I think that they veered a lot into like, I don't want to call it horror, but a little dark, and a little more realism and stuff. So I noticed a lot of companies were doing like, even with Ninja Turtles, or I didn't think of something else. Even with like oh gosh, I can't like Ink Bendy and the Ink Machine was one they brought up. So there would be these characters that like it seemed like the big studios were trying to keep things very stylized, very cartoonish. Sorry, there's a motorcycle behind me.
it's all right.
And the feedback we were getting was that these kids were into the sort of realism that we were putting in the kind of grotesque art stylings we put in. So we tried to put in as much as that as we could without it looking like Spawn, or without it looking like an adult collector toy brand as much. So we were really careful to try to teeter that line between, we don't want retailers to like lump us in with like the like BioShock toys and Fallout toys and stuff that's clearly for adults. So we kept a lot of the characters kind of freakish looking, and we also put a lot of bright colors in there and toned down some of the we had some weirder stuff in there we toned down a little bit. But some of it still made the final cut. Like Sham's like a CIA agent. He still has this umbrella that it actually is going to move too. The blade kind of comes out back and forth.
Like
and
a
again,
switchblade umbrella.
kind of, yeah. Like, do you remember like again going back to Ninja Turtles, like Splinter came with a cane, but if you pulled it off, like there was a blade underneath, kind of stuff like that. We were really inspired by a lot of the toys that we had as kids, and that went into these.
So. And you could definitely tell, and I think that's what really drew me to it was, their design, and then your passion of some of your YouTube videos of you talking about what you're doing and what you're trying to do for the industry. And then I was like, right when you said like, hey, I want toys to go back to kids, I want kids to play with toys, and I was just like, that for me was the mind-blowing experience, because it's just like all it is adults.
Yeah.
All you see is adults in the toy aisle. Like, I want to be able to pick up a toy for myself, pick up one for my nephew. Hey, it's the same figure, but hey, we can play together. Let's go outside. Like Sham, you said it's going to be like a heat sensitive plastic or something where he changes invisible or whatnot.
So the plastic is clear, and then the paint is touch sensitive. So the paint goes clear, and so yeah. So he's green by default, but then when you touch him or get him warm,
see, and that's awesome. Like, get out there with these toys and play in your yard and stuff. I mean, everybody has these yards, and nobody's really doing much with them besides cutting them and maybe watering them if they're that type of person.
Yep. Yeah. And, I hope it, like we're gonna do our best to really wow kids and get them off the iPad for a few minutes. No, you don't have to give it up altogether, but
maybe a couple hours, maybe.
Okay. Sounds good.
So as Alternation started being developed, I know you guys, like you have that first comics done.
We have, we have. So each character is going to come with his own mini comic, and then there's also a point of sale and / promo comic that we do as more of a promotion. Here's a look at that. That's the cover.
Yeah, I saw that cover.
Yeah, this has my notes on it, so ignore that. But yeah, so it's all one comprehensive story, and it's also going to be available on the web, so you don't have to. One of the things we talked about is we don't want kids to have to invest in all 8 figures just to get the whole story, so we are going to make it a bit. Excuse me, the tea is hitting my digestive tract right now. So kids will still be able to read the story, and if you buy the toy, you get the collector's version of the mini comic. Again, going back to toys that inspired us as kids was He-Man and I think it was Superpowers. All came with a little mini comic, and we needed a way to get the story out, so we said, haha, let's bring that back.
It's a good idea. And now, are you guys like with you getting doing the ways of, I guess, like the mini comics and ways of kids get access to them online and things like that? Were you guys thinking about doing like I hate to say it, and I even think I wrote it down, so a pizza point type system, or
we considered it. We're not. The answer is maybe. Like, sorry to be so vague. We were thinking that things are a lot more digital now, so we were hoping to kind of do something to where it's like an online thing, but again, it's like COPA and all that stuff kind of hampers us. So what we did was we did the fan club, and we'll probably do follow-up through there. So it would, if we have kids are interested in sort of a rewards program, that would be the way for them to make sure they're up on that.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So it's like, and I know a lot of it's going to be vague and a lot of certain things, because I mean, it's still, in process of,
Yeah.
And but with your Alternation line, I mean, out of all the characters that you came up with, and I mean, we'll talk about the ones that are mainly been revealed through your social media and stuff like that. What would say, if you had to choose only see, I'm gonna make this one tough on myself too. We'll say your top 2 characters.
Top 2. I was really into Quilroy initially. I still like him a lot because I just think he looks so unique. As the toys came out, I got really into Sham though because his toy is just so cool, and he's one of the lower price points too. So you're getting a lot for him. The tongue, like you push a switch on his back and a little sticky tongue comes out.
Oh, nice.
And of course he changes color too, and his gadgets are just so neat. Like he's got a book that opens up, you can hide a bomb in it, you can hide his gun accessory in it, and then he's got the umbrella switchblade.
He's like straight up secret agent, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would say then the 2, Quilroy and then Sham, probably be your top 2.
Probably, yeah. I really like. It's like choosing your children, but you know, you always have that one kid that's more well behaved.
Right. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, Sham was definitely one of my top ones. Once I found out that he could do the heat sensitive plastic and all that stuff, I was just like, man, I was like, that's an awesome feature. And then he did come with like the accessories you did show looked really cool. And then I would say I'm looking forward to Sabotage as well, just because he just sort of, I don't know, he just has that villainy look to him.
Kind of like Darth Vader meets Iron Man or something.
Yeah, like he just looks like he could throw down, and it's going to take a couple of the the good guys to fight him.
Yeah. He's like I said, it's really hard for me to choose. Like there's stuff I like about about all of them. So nice. I'm sure it'll change again tomorrow. Like I'll be like, Albert, he's so much fun to play with.
Stub your toe on a prototype or something. You're like, I hate you, Sham.
Yeah. I actually there was something really the Albert toy comes with a lot of cool accessories too. That when I'm playing with his prototype, it's starting to grow on me too. He has a little more articulation than the rest too, because he's the kind of agile monkey character. But he also comes with a little mini whoopee cushion that's like to scale, and it works.
What?
And yeah, it's like a 2-inch, maybe like a 2-inch diameter whoopee cushion. You can blow it up and it makes a little like it's not like super impressive sound, but it's still impressive that you can make a whoopee cushion that small.
Right.
He also has like an extendo glove coming out of a mallet that actually works with the spring, and like a little pie that has a squishy top. So all kinds of weird little, like, because he was so small and we were having trouble like coming up with like some of the other features seemed to kind of blow his out of the water. So we're like, let's make his accessories really, really, really cool.
And the fact that they're interactive like that, and they aren't just chunks of plastic, takes what you guys are doing like to a whole different level. Like a mini whoopee cushion that actually functions. Like I wouldn't even have thought of that. And the fact that it does do a little noise, I mean, it doesn't have to be the full effect, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And who didn't want to have a mallet with like a boxing glove coming out? I mean, ever since like Looney Tunes or even Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
And his weapon he had like the little banana clip, literally. Mm-hmm. Like I thought that was really cool and creative as well. And back to me geeking out over your guys's toy line. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is just like the creativeness that you guys are putting into each one of these characters.
Yeah, I think that's kind of something when we talked a little bit about the big behemoths out there in toys. I don't know that they could like really do that without a lot of bureaucracy in the way, So maybe that's where a little company like ours comes in to really do something different and really raise the bar. So I hope that's our hope.
I mean, it's a good hope. It's a good goal to aim for, and I think you could definitely stir some stuff up, because it's stale out there. It's the same stuff over and over again, and then it's like tidal waves of just these mass-produced figures, and just like, how many Captain Americas does somebody need? How many Thors does somebody need? How many Iron Men? It's like, and they all come with the same stuff and rehashed parts, and it's just like,
what, this one is painted slightly different.
Right. I just bought it last month. Oh, but pay $30 or $40, to get this one because it's painted better, because we didn't paint it right the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why as me as a collector, I started to look at, I was like, oh, let me complete these waves. I'm like, you know what? No, I need to have space for this stuff. Plus I want to be able to display it. And it's like, I'm just going to be selective. Unless
Yeah.
it's a company like your company where it makes you want to have every figure possible.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, we'll re-release them for sure, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like if we were gonna do more toys, it would be like new characters and things. So I mean, yeah, of course, improving on the old ones, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see where it goes. See what the fan response is too.
Now, any street date expectations?
Yeah, we're looking at mid-October and we're going to start doing pre-sales very, very, very soon. I think. So it's June now. It's almost July. We'll be starting pre-sales in July.
Okay, and where can people get a hold of these pre-sales or pre-orders?
See, I haven't even announced it yet, but yeah, it's going to be store.pandamony.toys. So this is kind of a exclusive drop in the bomb kind of bombshell. Drop in the bomb, yeah. But yeah, store.pandamony.toys. Let me make sure that URL works before I like send people there. But yeah, right now it's just going to say coming soon. But yeah, if you come back there, we'll have a timer, a little countdown clock for when the store will go live.
That's awesome. Now, and these are things like some of these questions, like if they're not at the point of being able to be answered or whatnot, you definitely don't have to because it's still in development. Any ideas of like how you're going to do pricing yet, or is that?
Yeah.
Oh, you already know that.
yeah. We're in the Marvel Legends range. So there's going to be 3 basic characters. I don't say small, but basic and large. So and then the basics are $21.99. The large are $24.99.
Oh, that's very reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially
you can do a lot when you don't have to pay a royalty. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what else that we would need to dabble in on. I mean, pretty much. I mean,
the three basic ones are El Rey, Sham, and Albert, and the large are Quilroy, Sabotage, and who's the other Dart.
And then Alpha's probably going to be a big one too.
Alpha's going to be really, really. He's going to be $29.99 because he is huge. He's like a 10-inch box. It's like cube. Yeah, because he has these giant wings and they articulate too, kind of like if you saw that new Gremlins toy with the bat wings.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but not quite as large of a wingspan. But they're huge, and the color change too, because he also has camouflage.
Yeah. See, that's. See, I now like because when you see them on your like social media and like your Facebook and stuff like that, you're like. You look at them, you're like, all right, these are really cool characters. But now that you're telling me like this thing's gonna be massive, like it fits the Alpha name for sure. And then now it just gives me ideas like how big, like the scale. Are you gonna try to continuously like with your characters? Do you have a scale in mind that certain ones like these guys are gonna be closer to the same size because in reality they would be, and then so on and so forth?
Yep, we tried to keep everybody. If they're taller in the story, the toy's taller and so forth. But I think next time around we'll try to now that we have like some price tiers set up, we're going to try to fit them all into those price tiers. So and we'll try to keep them all even. So like now we did 3 and 3. Next one will be an even mix of the different price points. And then there's some characters that are oversized, so Alpha would be one. We have another one in the works that I was kind of alluding to earlier, that they're almost like vehicle-sized people, and you can have like the characters like, we're going to get you, and like just trying to drag them down and stuff, hanging off them.
That's awesome.
It actually so I was going to say my daughter was playing with because I have these prototypes that they're EP1 is what they're called. It's like the very first pulls off the line, and we got to make sure that the quality is there and that they don't hurt kids. So before they hurt other people's kids, I gave it to my daughter to see if it hurts her. Just kidding. I was just anyway. Please don't report me to the authorities. I was letting her play with them, and then just watching her play with them, it's like you get ideas of like, oh, we can do that and stuff. She was making like Quilroy ride Dart, and it's like we can totally put that in like a comic, and like Quilroy has to like launch Dart. I'm sorry, Dart has to launch Quilroy by jumping and stuff like that. And
I mean, I
she,
think that's pretty awesome too, because you get, not only is your family involved, but then you're like, hey, it's through a child's mind of like, hey, here's these toys, do whatever, and you just sit there and watch, and you're just like, that's inspiration right there.
yeah, it does. It's cool. I sent it to our copy guy and said, hey, we can put this in the comic or something. Speaking of comics, we actually are also something coming out. This is another kind of a bombshell first in media. We're working with a major comics publisher to bring this to a graphic novel. So and hopefully get into like book fairs and Barnes and Noble and things like that, where kids, because some of our research indicated kids aren't going to comic book stores as much, but they are reading graphic novels. So that's we're aware of that, and that's the route we're taking.
Yeah, because you can go into like a Barnes and Noble and they just have rows of graphic novels that you could just get a hold of and easy access. You get hands on, you could see it, and you feel a little bit more comfortable, because some comic shops can make you feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get that. It's like you're kind of on your own to figure out a lot of like how do all the stories connect and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife went into a comic shop, and she was trying to find me something I think it was for Easter or something. She tries to do little surprise things here and there, and she was looking for one of the NECA Freddy figures, and she
Uh-huh.
asked for help and got like the rudest reaction of just being talked down to.
Oh man, did you hate that?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, you're a comic shop. Like, don't you just help somebody out? They're wanting to spend money. Like, come
Yeah,
on. She ended up not buying anything.
yeah. Well,
So,
Amazon doesn't have rude clerks.
right, exactly,
It's like,
exactly. Small business was able to, because somebody was asking a question that might have seemed dumb to them, you
yeah,
know, had to give attitude. So I was just like, yeah, I wouldn't have bought anything either.
yeah, it's disappointing.
It is.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I always found intimidating about comic books, I don't know if we're going off on a tangent, but I'm happy to talk about it, is just like like you could never get the whole story unless you got a trade paperback. And then like kind of when we were kids, trade paperbacks weren't super common, especially at like the drugstore or something like that. So anyway, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
had to go and you had to buy them. But then one thing with comics that still to this date sort of give me issues when I do want to actually follow a story is like they'll start with like a certain so many issues with this guy, and then they'll switch it over to this
Yep.
person's comic, and it's just like this big mess. So you sort of have to sit back and wait for a trade, because it puts it all together and saves you the
Yeah.
headache of trying to hunt down and figure out what piece you're missing.
Yeah, and then a lot of those stories were like nothing to do with the main plot. Like they're like, oh yeah, get the next issue of like Thor to get to find out what happens. It's like Thor mentions something about the like Secret Wars and then goes back to what he's doing or whatever.
Right, goes back to fishing.
Yep.
But no,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, and so you guys just going straight trade paperback, solid,
I mean, we're open to anything, but yeah, we thought trade paperbacks a good way to reach the kids. They're smarter than I was when I was a kid. They're just like, don't spend money on 100 comic books just for filler. Anyway.
right, when you can just
Yeah,
get one. Now you think like if everything goes successful, cartoon series?
we're working on that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
uh, I can't get into that too much because it's still super early, but we're going to be putting out some webisodes, so look for that very
Nice.
soon. Yeah, those should be available at launch.
You guys
Very
have so
short
much
too.
on your plate, a lot more than I even realized.
Yeah, it is. That's a lot more than I realize sometimes. Like I gotta pretend like there's not a billion things going on to keep my sanity.
Not a billion things going on. Plus, you're dealing with family on top of managing this, So,
No,
which,
my wife helps out a lot, so
oh
good
man,
there.
see, when you say that, she's gonna have this you owe me list that's gonna
Oh
be
right.
like, she's like, I'm cashing in right now.
Yeah. Remember when you left Hong Kong for a week? Like,
And now you guys are going to be at San Diego Comic Con in a couple weeks, next week.
we are. When is it? It's July 18, I think. The weekend.
So a couple weeks.
Yeah, forget it. No, I'm sorry. It's the weekend of the 22nd. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll be there, and Diamond Select is going to be listing our toys in their catalog, and they were kind enough to let us have some booth space to promote them. So that's where we'll be, at the Diamond Select booth.
Nice. That's a
And if
good
you
booth.
find me, if you're going to Comic-Con, listeners, find me on the floor, and we'll give you a prize.
And
It's a
I
surprise.
don't think it's going to be hard to find you because you're always at these events with like you stand out more than anybody besides other like cosplayers and stuff.
I get that. Yeah, I got kind of a corporate punk rock, which is kind of antithetical. But anyway, look.
But I mean, it's a good look though. It
Thanks.
sort of gives off the vibe that anybody can come up and talk to you, and you're not going to just sort of like stiff arm them away.
Huh, that's good to know. Thanks. I didn't think about it like that, but that's a good thing.
Because I mean, a lot of times people have to, with
Yeah.
I hear San Diego Comic Con. I haven't been. I need to at one of these years, being on the opposite side of the country and everything. But I hear that like if you to really interact with the higher ups of these toy companies, you have to get in advance, like before the actual show starts, to actually have a little bit more one-on-one or actually be able to talk with them.
Hmm.
And
That's yeah.
I find that a little bit extreme. So it's like you got people that are spending money to go and see all these new things and would love to say something, and it's like, hey, you don't have time to talk to your fans or the people that are keeping the lights on.
Yeah. That's kind of crummy. I don't know. I try to be accessible as I can. Obviously, I there's only so many hours in the day, but yeah, I don't know. You
Yeah, it's
never
gonna
know
be
where like I've met tons of people that are just like just being nice to them, and it ends up like working out really well. Like there's ways we can help each other out, and you just wouldn't know if you kind of like were like hands off. So
that is true.
anyway.
And then with you going to San Diego and all that stuff, man, how are you gonna try to be focused? It's like I know you're showing off your awesome stuff, but like how are you gonna want to stay in that one area? I'd be like drawn to everything else and be like,
Oh man,
somebody you stay here, I will be back in a couple hours. Like
I I think it's gonna be okay because I'm really not into like large crowds. Like it sounds, I've never been to Comic Con either. I've tried every year prior to having a company to get a badge, and it's like no, like it just seemed impossible. Like they had that little website where you're like seeing if like, oh, am I gonna get picked in the lottery? And then every year for me it was no. Um, but from everything I heard, that it's just such a like crazy crowd that I don't think, I think I'll be perfectly happy to stay in one spot, even though I'm going to miss out on all the cool stuff. It's like I'm not into like the Disneyland kind of like shuffling your way around a crowd
makes
kind of thing.
sense.
Yeah.
Like I'd get probably a little bit anxiety kicking in for me. Where was I? I was with my wife. We ended up snagging some food. There's a place here in Maryland called like Mission Barbecue. So it's like all like beef and barbecue and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we ordered food, and they have like this long like area where you pick up your stuff because we are just getting it to go. And I'm trying to do stuff, but it was like the crowd was just getting all piled up and like pushing, and like lady was sort of shoving me away, and I'm just like I just like froze. Like I'm just like I just need to get out of here because it's just too much. Like I can't, and that's what I feel like with Comic Con, being the biggest one there is. I feel like that would happen to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for me it's just like I find it on like just a little like being herded like cattle or something, you know? It's just like this isn't fun.
You don't want to stand in line for 5 hours to hope to get a chance of an exclusive.
Yeah, get the blue Iron Man or something, you know? Like why is
So
he blue anyway? Yeah.
right, exactly. He's just upset. He's depressed.
Oh, there we go. It's
Um,
blue metaphorically.
Now, if and I don't even know why I'm saying if when you guys become successful even more and it just explode, and alternations on everybody's shelf and on all the kids' wish lists and stuff like that. Do you think you guys are gonna do like exclusives to conventions and stuff like that and follow that sort of like I guess what toy companies do?
I think we'll definitely do exclusives. One of the things we talked about was trying to make sure those exclusives fit into the universe. So I think I know that a lot of like other companies do that too, but we kind of wanted them all to make sense for us. It wasn't just like, oh, El Rey's red now and no paint. Here you go. It was like, well, what if we did a what if we made it like in the story where like, okay, he molts or something, and like that's the exclusive you get or something. So yeah, for sure we want to do like we want to give something special to if like we've been doing with the narwhalruses and things like that, to where we do like limited edition things, and it's just for people that are like really into the brand, or people that act in a way that's going to help us. We want to reward them with something, you know. So like a pre-order or something, maybe you get a reward because you're going to all the trouble to give us money without without having any product for a while, you know. So stuff like that. Yeah, we definitely want to. It's more of a reward system than like wanting to just like, how can we make an exclusive super cheap kind of a thing and save money.
Right.
Yeah.
So it means that so you guys would release something, then like say examples, say some people that don't get the tickets to these convention stuff, there would be most likely a way of getting some of these through your guys' website in the future, possibly.
Oh yeah, and yeah, we haven't talked too much about convention exclusives. So it's kind of all up in the air with regard to that. The comic book that we're getting is a convention exclusive. So if you are going to San Diego Comic-Con, that'll be one of the few places you can get this edition of the comic. This will be a similar edition will be available for free, but not this one. This one actually has a little cartoon about Panda Mony, like what we're all about and stuff on the last page.
That's awesome.
I think you may have seen it on the Facebook.
I've definitely seen that cover art on your
okay.
on Facebook too. That draws me in there.
So yeah.
But no, that's awesome. Look forward to it, and I hope nothing but the best success at San Diego. And you know, I guess we sort of ran through a lot of it. And is there any last words? Anything you want to say?
Buy lots of Alternation toys. When you bought all of them, please buy them all again. Buy them for your friends and your family. Make sure they also buy it for their friends and family, and you'll get some. And I really appreciate all the fans that we're getting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and their comments. And we love hearing your ideas. We love hearing market feedback. Anything we can do to get folks excited, let us know. We want to be a company that really serves, gives people the bang for their buck. That's what it's about for us mostly. It's just making sure kids aren't getting ripped off.
I mean, that's
and adults. Yeah.
And that's a good way of doing it, and it's allows adults to get off their wallets a little bit and seeing like they're getting their money's worth and can justify buying one of your figures versus some of the other ones out there. And but yeah, that's something that I'm going to look forward to, especially when now we got the pre-orders all going to be going live in October, right? No, wait, July, and then October is when they come out.
Yep.
Which is going to be awesome. And yeah, I'm going to link everything down below. Anything Panda Mony Toys, everything Alternation, all your social media, all your stuff is going to be linked down below. And, everybody that's watching, make sure you sign up. Got the links down below. Register, because that's how you can get yourself one of these cool little silver narwhal verses, which is awesome. And plus, that's how you're going to stay in the know with when Panda Mony Toys Alternation is going to be releasing new characters, their figures, really any updates you're going to get through that email.
Cool.
So, Ryan, I do thank you for taking the time out of your day, your morning, to get on this little chat with me. I just figured anything I could do to help spread awareness of what you're doing, it's I'm going to do it for you guys.
We really appreciate that, Arthur. It's been great talking to you. I'm really happy I got to kind of spread the gospel of what Panda Mony and Alternation is happening.
Right.
Doing.
Next, Alternation T-shirts, man.
Yeah. We actually wanted to do hats, like Navy hats, like the camouflage, but like military kind of square. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Alternation logo. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive for the swag on that. So, but someday when we're Mattel size, definitely.
Well, we'll help you get there, and we got to make sure that this first wave and line of figures, sells like hotcakes.
Yep. Better than hotcakes.
Better than hotcakes. We want to sell out
Yeah.
all of them.
Yep. That would be great if we have people complaining like, "What happened? You ran out of inventory, you idiots!" And be like, "We'll be so happy if people call us idiots for not having enough inventory."
I'd rather than not call you idiots, but I hope you run out of inventory. I really want everybody to get on board with this stuff. It's just like let's get back to unique figures, something that is passionate, and you're allowing that artistic freedom for your characters too.
Thanks.
So, but this will wrap up our one-on-one with Panda Mony Toys, Ryan, the main man himself. So I want you guys to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.